soulful beats. I beatbox, and yeah, I thought I'd do a little live stream. I'm banking on not many people joining because it's the middle of the day on a Tuesday, so I don't think there's going to be too many people dropping in. I wish there was. I wish I was live streaming at a better time, but I thought my kind of idea of what I wanted to do was to do a live stream where I'm just kind of beatboxing for increased proficiency. So I'm just beatboxing to kind of perfect sounds and make stuff up, improv, freestyle. And if you hear anything you want to learn, I'm open to doing tutorials, like free tutorials on any sound, any kind of technique you'll want to learn. I think that would be pretty cool. So as I'm beatboxing here, or if you know anything about beatboxing already and you know a sound you want to learn, um, yeah, shoot a message in the chat, and I will do my best to give a little tutorial on how to do it and maybe some tips. So for right now, I'm going to just freestyle for a little bit, try to get a flow going, and that's what I'm going to do. So let's go. Um, I've been doing a lot of the post snare. Um, when I first heard that sound, this sound, I thought it was just like ridiculous sounding. It sounded like it doesn't look like that's really coming from someone's mouth. Well, at least the original video sounded like pretty inhuman when I heard the post snare. And basically, I could give my little tutorial or some tips, more like tips on how I got the post snare. So you want to put the your lips together like this to make an O shape with your mouth. And the bottom of your tongue, well, the tip of your tongue is going to go behind your bottom row of teeth. And it's going to kind of push forward like that. So it's not just going to like this. It's going to be more like that. Still, you know, trying to master it, getting it nice and loud. The hardest part about it is to getting the sound louder. At first, the first way I was able to produce this, and it's so called a whistle. It's a whistle. Is this the post snare is a whistle, and I was going like. Going like that and trying to get this slight just putting the lips back together like that, back and forth, and I'm breathing out. Just like that. And you're really just searching for this scratchy sound that sounds like. Yeah, so it's about kind of once you find that little scratchy whistle, it kind of sound like, I don't know, winds coming in like through a door almost, like. And yeah, you produce a sound by keeping your mouth closed and opening up as wide as you can go to produce the sound. So, and then you can close back up. So I am speeding up the air, and then I am slowing down and then speeding back up again. And it gets you like a turntable scratch. It's in my opinion pretty similar to the Sid effect scratch, which starts off basically like a whistle, and the same way that the post snare is a whistle, and it's air that is creating the sound. I just think they're very similar sounds, so, and I like to do them in conjunction in some way. I'm just trying to show how they're kind of similar. So in order to do a Sid effect scratch, you have to do two things simultaneously. One would be to learn this position here. It's like a inward sound. It's inward. I'm pulling inwards. The tongue is sitting like right about there in my mouth to produce that scratchy. I'm going like in order to produce this. sound. The top lip's going to go over the bottom lip. You're just going to breathe in, pull in air. How I'm pulling in air is I'm producing. It then just comes down to the lip position. So that's the first step, is to get that whistle. Second would be to get the main kind of ingredient, which is called a click roll, which there's many ways of doing. You could do it in the center, which I guess is called like a slither roll, like. Let's see if I could do those two things together. Yeah, that's pretty clean sounding. I'll usually do it on the side of my tongue, so that was done dead center. I do a click roll generally on the side of my tongue, on my right side, which I find creates a slower click. Maybe it's lower pitch, but it's definitely not as fast as the center one that I was just doing. That's on the side of my tongue. And this is, both are inward, both sounds are inwards. So I'm turning my tongue sideways, like so. And I'm pulling in air. So all the air is going in. No air is coming in from this side. And it has to come up from here to above the tongue. And because that's the only way the air can travel, it's kind of popping the tongue back and forth off the roof of your mouth. You can roll it like that. I think that these are some of the first sounds I learned, honestly, was a click roll on the side. To drag it, like, I'm just breathing in, taking in air. And so if you want to do the Sid effect scratch, you're going to do a sound with your lips here, breathing in, and you're going to add this sound on top of it, which is going to create that this scratchy turntable type. I don't know, it just sounds crazy. But I think that Sid effect scratch and the post snare are both similar whistles. So that's why I was trying to teach both of those there. If anybody has any comments of any sort, I'm watching in the comments. If you have anything you want to learn beatbox wise, I'm willing to teach it, and you can type back what you're doing or whatever. So I'm just going to beatbox for a little bit. I've been working on fart bass. Don't mind if saliva kind of builds up right here. While I do that, I'll like wipe it off on my sleeve or something, because that happens and it kind of looks gross, but it's how you produce the sound. So I always did this fart bass incorrectly at first. Now I can do it proper, but fart bass sounds like So, yeah, probably should have a napkin or something while I do that sound because it kind of gross doing it on camera. But so I used to do that sound. Just people would say tuck your top lip over your bottom lip like so. Thanks, man. Sheesh. I remember I used to do the sheesh with the it's called double voice, polyphonic voice. Like sheesh, sheesh. Thought that was funny. And I could do tutorials on all the sounds I know. I'm willing to share everything I know. It's kind of fun thing to do. Anyway, so fart bass was I was doing it improper at first, so I would do. It would also make me do this like frown. The difference between that being incorrect and being correct and incorrect is that the fart bass, the original sound, the cheeks are puffed up. So in the way I was doing it originally was you see the cheeks aren't puffed up at all. And this is how the sound changes when the air then puffs into the cheeks. So sorry, I always do like a spam of like 10 sounds at the end of every time I freestyle. So fart bass, I could do a little snippet on how to do that. You could also do vocals behind it, as you can kind of do with any lip bass. So just like doing a lip roll, like I am going I'm doing a falsetto voice there on top of the fart bass at the same time. So that's another thing, another little trick you could do there. But so with the fart bass, you're going to take your top lip, put it over the bottom lip, and kind of bring forward your jaw. So this is my original jaw position here. And then I'm going to kind of smush it up, forward and up. All right. And basically, it's easy to start off the sound with a tight sound like, and then kind of roll it into the full bass. Right. And I'm just blowing out. I find that how you're shaping the air on so many sounds is like one of the key factors from, learning a sound, from whether it's what it takes to go from not having a sound at all to having the sound. I found that out with the inward OD bass, which I got maybe like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. It was how I was breathing in. I think I was before going like making a kind of tight he sound, right? that won't produce the OD bass. If you went like OD bass sounds like, at least the inward OD bass does. Sounds like that. Outward sounds like that. Inward, how I'm producing that on a breath view is I'm not going like, I'm not breathing in like that. I'm going in order to produce this. It's a huh sound, a wide huh sound inwards while you're breathing inwards without any vocalization. So how you're pulling in the air a lot of the time for many of the sounds is the difference between not having the sound and having the sound. I've found quite a few times now. So with fart bass, let's see how I'm blowing out. I'm blowing straight out, producing a. It's a rather fast. Your lungs are going to kind of blow out the air rather quickly. But of course, with the sound at the same time, it's going to not allow the air to come out as fast, so you can do the sound for a lot longer than you can go like. I could produce a sound there. Quite a bit longer than that. So that's how you do fart bass. I'm going to do a little freestyle on that sound. I like to do like some variations of the sound. It's a really cool sound. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but the sound can be sharp or it can be smooth, and I like how you can play with that. So sharp would be more that. See, there's very sharp sound to it. Or there can be it could be very smooth, and it can get a really good like hit on the microphone when you do the smooth version of it. It's very bassy. So yeah, but you can play with it, so you can go from sharp to smooth, and you can go from really tight, like high pitched, to. In order to do that da 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 da, I'm just going da 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 while producing the sound. Yeah, little demonstration on fart bass. Try to demonstrate it maybe a little bit harder sounding. Oh yeah, I like to do this. Yeah. I like that, which I feel like is a very rudimentary sound, but it flows in there. It's like a different type of texture on the air. So, It just has a neat flow, in my opinion. So I've done a little post snare tutorial, a little sit effects type tutorial, and fart bass. So I'm just going to freestyle, and maybe another sound will come up that I feel like giving some advice or tips. Many of the sounds just take, experimenting and finding your own way of practicing. Like with the post snare, I would go like with like how I said, the tongue is back behind the bottom teeth, pushed forward. The tongue is kind of pushed forward and flat almost on the sides. It's not like, it's flat. So air can come from the sides of the tongue. No, didn't come out very good, but sometimes sounds come out iffy. Sometimes they sound out really great. So yeah, you just want to catch that kind of scratchiness. So you want to go from once you have that scratchy sound, you're just going to try getting it louder and louder. And it doesn't always help to push harder to make a sound come out louder. Sometimes even pushing lighter helps to get the sound out, right? And at first with the sound, you're going to hear more breath, more wind noise than actual whistle, than actual scratch. So you'll hear more like more blowing than the actual scratch, the actual whistle, which I guess it's a whistle, but it's just a really weird sounding whistle because you don't ever hear someone whistle like that. But once you can do it, you can kind of sustain a pitch. If you're going you want to be able to get that nice and loud as you can. And then it's just kind of modulating with your lips, going from closed to open as wide as you can go. At one point, you're not going to be able to produce any kind of pitch anymore. At that point, you can close back up and it'll make a sound. Yeah. So I came across doing that sound. I watched some tutorials. The main person who did it, his name's Hartzell. I saw his tutorial on YouTube. My friend showed me the video of him doing a tutorial. I never heard the sound before. I thought it was it sounded nuts. I don't know if it sounds nuts on camera here, because honestly, I think he probably edited the audio to make the sound come out clearer than it actually comes out in real life, because it is quite a quiet sound, and on the video it sounds very punchy, very loud, and I feel like he probably just boosted some gain and other things to make the sound come out clearer, but kind of deceiving because the sound's not extremely loud and clear in real life without any kind of audio editing. I have gotten it pretty clean before. That was pretty decent, but you just do it thousands of times. I swear I've done the sound so many times. And this year, street performing, I'm I had it last year. I started to have it the beginning of last year, but I couldn't do it on mic. It just doesn't. It's a hard sound to come out on mic because you're blowing onto the mic, and the wind noise from you blowing onto the mic creates noise, and yeah, so because of that noise, you really have to have that whistle really nice and crisp and loud as can be in order to hear it over that blowing wind onto the mic. So just this year, I started to kind of pull it out and do it in public, do this post snare. I think that sounded really bad, pulling it out and doing it in public, but I'm talking about the post snare here. So doing this sound in public while I'm street performing. So yeah, my beats are quite rudimentary and basic when I do the post snare, just because I'm not super proficient. So I'm just doing kind of scratch beats, like just simple and sound. Really trying to work with modulation and stuff like that. My emphasis is on the sound and not like on technical beat patterns or something like that. So that's also a click roll. I find that for me, I don't know, maybe my tongue's shaped differently or weirdly or unevenly, but if I produce a click roll on the right side of my mouth, it creates a rather slow kind of click, whereas on the left side of my mouth, it creates more of a fast, bassy click. That was a pretty popular beatbox sound when people would do like yeah. I find so you can go between both sides of the tongue, and I don't really use that sound to drag with. I use that sound mainly to create a sit effect scratch. If I tried to create the sit effect scratch with the other side of my mouth, it would be very fast. So I'll go from right to left to it's a little too fast. Makes like a machine gun, like a sit effect scratch. Anyways, that's not as clean as I have kind of played with that sound a little bit. I have got it cleaner than that, but so the is just a click roll on the left side of my mouth. But how I'm pulling the sound is a little bit different. This sound is very inwards with the breath. I'm gonna in order to produce that sound for the it's much more pressure based with the tongue and the jaw. I think it sounds like, yeah, I'm not really pulling with my lungs at all to produce that sound. I'm not getting it super clean right now, but you could do some pretty cool stuff with it and throw it in places. demonstrating some ways you might use that. I'll usually use it not kind of on its standalone, but kind of just as a weird sound to add into place. I've been doing what's called the Pac-Max whistle, which I could also do a tutorial on. I saw he did like a little troll video where he was like, I'm going to teach you how to do the sound, and then he doesn't teach you how to do the sound, so he got me there, but I found out how to do it. It goes like, it's very hard to do with both cheeks kind of pushed. It's very hard to get a clean whistle, in my opinion, so far for me. That's like one of the most complicated whistles I've ever learned thus far. I was talking about something right before this. Oh yeah, I'll use the sound in conjunction. I'll just add some kind of weird flair at the end, like I forget what I do exactly. And I kind of drag the sound out to make it kind of sound like it comes in slowly, like, but you can do it, I think, abruptly. It's a little bit easier to get the sound out kind of if you drag it along like that, than to just go and expect like a clean whistle. I found I could do a polyphonic voice on top of that, so it's pretty cool. I think what Pac-Max either does when he does the sound is he does I haven't listened to him in a long time, but he would do a like, I think he would either do falsetto, just normal falsetto over this whistle, so like at the same time as a right, and it gets this double type effect. But I don't know if he's already done this or if I made it up. I don't know. He may have already done this, but or someone else might have. There's 7 billion people, so probably somebody else has. But I thought of doing the polyphonic voice in conjunction. Makes a little bit different of a texture. So polyphonic voice is like it's really kind of funny sound to do, not like super serious. But you could do it on top. Yeah. That's those two sounds combined would be a polyphonic voice and a Pac-Max whistle. Kind of gets I don't know. I think it sounds like a train whistle, like how Pac-Max is describing. You can bring in the polyphonic voice in later, so I could start off with the and then bring in the polyphonic voice, and you kind of get this doo-doo sound. So I'm not like perfect at any of these techniques. Well, this one particularly yet. I just discovered it a couple weeks ago to do these two sounds back to back like that. Oh. It's not coming out right. Or you can do them simultaneously right away. Ooh. And you can do some cool train beats like that sound like a train whistle. So that's what I meant by that. I'll add it in as just kind of a flare sound that kind of tops things off at the end. I usually don't do it. Like beats are totally like crazy. That sound kind of weird in my opinion. So to my taste, yeah, I'm gonna freestyle for a couple more minutes, and then I'm gonna do some other things today. I'm going to play on the boardwalk for a little while. I want to make another reaction video and play around a lot with trolling people or messing with people. It seems like trolling is a better, people like that in the thumbnail, trolling people instead of messing with people. So me kind of just walking up behind people and doing weird beatbox sounds, beatboxing right behind them or in front of them, or it's an inspired idea by Mr. Wobbles. I saw the one time he made a video of a reaction video where he would normally go up to people and just say, "Hey guys, I beatbox. You know, can I do some for you?" And they'd be like, "Okay," and he'd beatbox and catch the reactions. But this one part of one of his videos, he was walking past another guy and went for a high five. He went for the high five, so he initiated it. The other guy gave him a high five, and when he did, Mr. Wobbles did a sound like and kept walking. And this guy kind of turned around a bunch of times, like, "What the heck? What the heck was that noise? Like, why'd he make that noise? That was so weird." So it was funny though when I first watched it. So me kind of doing this is inspired based off of Mr. Wobbles doing that. I don't know if he would do that very often in his videos, but I saw him do it the one time, and I was like, during COVID and everything, I had to wear a mask, and I couldn't really be going up to people and talking to them, so I would just kind of go up behind them, beatbox with my mask on, and try to get them turning around to see if I could get any kind of good, what the heck kind of like eyes, because you can see their face for the most part. But yeah, I'm planning on doing some reaction videos. Now these videos do like take a long time to edit because it's just me, and I use a GoPro, and it's a 360 GoPro, so I'll set it down somewhere, and then I will let it just record, and then afterwards I have to pan it and do all this cutting and editing, and it's quite the long process. Then sync the audio with the video. So if I do record tonight, yeah, it's probably not going to be out too soon. Some closing statements after I do a little freestyle at the end here. I'm going to try to catch a feel for this last beat. But so what have I been up to? Because I haven't uploaded anything in a while. I just finished college, and then I got my personal training certification right after college. So, I've been really honing hard schooling, finished that up in December. Then I had a personal training certification program to go through, finished that about 2 months ago or so, and now got a job doing, I have a job, then I have, um, I'm also street performing, so technically two positions. But I have more free time to think about YouTube now that I'm not always thinking about schoolwork and homework assignments and tests and quizzes. I feel like school takes a lot of your mental energy away. So now that's over, I can think more about YouTube. Also, anytime I have been away from school, not doing schoolwork in the past year or so, um, I picked up playing piano, and I have you sitting on my piano rest right now. Right here is my piano, and this is my rest for sheet music. So I played piano from about 8 years old to 12. So I played for 4 years when I was a little kid, and I just picked up playing piano last August, and I've been playing um, pretty much almost every day since last August, and just trying to get all my proficiency back that I used to have that I was a little kid, and then also adding lots of knowledge in music theory and reading music. And so I'm really trying to expand myself as a musician, not just beatboxing and vocals, but also playing piano. And then I have over here a guitar, if you can see here. And I started playing that in September. I never played guitar as a kid, so I really expanding myself as a musician, not just beatboxing with vocals, but now I'm also playing piano and electric guitar. And what I'm trying to get to is that these instruments take a lot of time and practice every day. So when it comes to thinking about making YouTube videos, I haven't been thinking about it so much because I'm trying to get very good at these instruments to the point that I can make videos about these instruments, and making more music videos than just beatboxing and singing, um, because I can expand myself as a musician and bring more to my YouTube channel. And I'd love to become a masteroso pianist and guitar player. I think that would be really cool. And I would also really like to bring to the channel, like electric guitar, and playing like heavy stuff, like really heavy electric guitar. I know this Fender guitar isn't very heavy sounding, um, but it can sound pretty heavy, honestly. Um, but doing heavy like guitar riffs with heavy beatboxing on it, like sick beatboxing, something really deep, something hard sounding. I think those things, if you're doing them simultaneously, sounds sick. So I'm working to the point, hopefully within this next year or so, that I'll be able to do that. And maybe street perform too. I'm hoping to street perform by next year, next summer, with either one of these instruments, a piano or a guitar, at my side while I'm, doing my normal show. Kind of adding in instrumentals into my beatboxing. So, um, yeah, that's what I've been up to. I haven't really had too much time to be thinking about YouTube because all my time's been used up by schooling and playing these instruments and practicing every day. Um, and yes, so I'm going to do a little freestyle really quick, try to get a nice groove. Probably going to do inward bass because I love inward bass like so much. The first bass I learned was throat bass, but I love throat bass is my favorite bass. Nothing can match throat bass, but uh, in its versatility and everything, you could do so many covers with throat bass, but inward bass is just hard and it's sick. So I'm gonna do a little freestyle off of inward bass. Get a tempo going with my foot here. one of my exercises I do for inward bass when it comes to inwards vocalized high bass. So many titles for that, but such a long title for that. But I go, and then I drop it kind of to this grimier, more textured sound. One. Yeah, it's how I'm producing the falsetto or the inward sound, the vocalized part. So I'm going for the really smooth one. Or I'm going like, oh yeah, yeah. I think it sounds like a robot, like a nasally robot, like a nerdy nasally robot. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, I'm done. Peace out, everybody. Perhaps I'll do another one of these in a couple days at a better time, because I know probably nobody was gonna come in because yeah, it's Tuesday at like 3 o'clock, I think, right now. 3:15. Like, nobody's watching YouTube, and why would somebody watch my YouTube video on a Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon unless they had no school and no job and were just hanging out or something? So I didn't expect anybody to come in. So I'll probably do another one of these at a better time, like maybe at nighttime, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, when people are done with dinner or something like that. I'd expect more people to be watching YouTube around that time, or around bedtime, 9 o'clock or something like that. I don't know. Next time I do this probably will be during a better time of the day. And maybe it won't be. Maybe I'll do it at the same time. So, anyways, peace out, everybody. Hope you have a great day.